Greetings, my beloved Trekkies! Are you ready to explore the depths of the final frontier like never before? Sure, we all love the final products of our favorite Star Trek franchise, but did you know that there are some secrets that will make your head spin faster than a Klingon bird of prey? Therefore, allow us to share with you 10 obscure Star Trek secrets that took years to discover. Number 10. The theme song's lyrics. Now, you know the awesome theme song from the original Star Trek series, the one that gets your heart pumping and transports you to a world of excitement and adventure? Okay, here's the scoop. Gene Roddenberry, the brilliant mind behind Star Trek, decided to spice things up by adding lyrics to the theme song. Can you believe that? Now, we're not talking about Captain Kirk's iconic monologue about space being the final frontier, although that is pretty cool too. These are actual lyrics that Roddenberry penned himself. But here is where it gets sneaky. Roddenberry, being the clever guy he was, had a hidden agenda. He wanted to score some extra moolah, so he claimed that he co-wrote the theme song with the talented composer Alexander Courage. Crafty move, right? By doing this, Roddenberry could legally get his hands on 50% of the royalties for the song, even though he didn't have a hand in composing it. But now let's talk about those lyrics. Picture this. Roddenberry, in a hurry to make some extra dough, hastily scribbled down words that were never meant to see the light of day. They were meant to be from the perspective of Kirk's long-lost love, the one he left behind on Earth while he jetted off into the cosmos. Talk about a bittersweet story. Number 9. The rebooted Gorn. Now keep watching because we've got more on the feared Gorn that you do not want to miss. While the Gorn have only popped up a few times in Trek, each appearance made it clear these reptilian hunters are a worthy match for the Federation. The classic series Arena episode introduced them, but that OG Gorn costume looks pretty hokey now, though it was totally rad at the time. And get this, the 2009 Star Trek reboot was supposed to feature an updated Gorn design. According to Star Trek magazine, makeup artist Barney Berman crafted a brand new Gorn for the scene at the Rura-Penthe prison colony. But alas, the scene got cut and we never saw the new improved Gorn in action. Number 8. Garrick's secret love for Bashir. Now you won't believe this, Deep Space Nine gossip that'll have you shipping Garricks like FedEx. Unfortunately, LGBTQ+ representation was nearly impossible back when Deep Space Nine first aired. The execs were too scared of the backlash, which is why, despite Andrew Robinson wanting Garrick to be queer, we never saw it on screen. But between the lines? Oh honey, that subtext was thick. Robinson revealed he played Garrick as secretly crushing on Bashir, stating outright, at first he just wanted to have sex with him. That's absolutely clear. While it took way too long for Star Trek to include LGBTQ+ characters openly, speculating on Garrick's untold feelings for Bashir is just too much fun. I mean, have you seen the way that man smiles only for his dear doctor? It's absolutely swoon-worthy. Now, while we didn't get to see it on screen back then, fan fiction writers have been sharing their beautiful visions of Garrick and Bashir's love for decades. So settle in, press play, and start shipping. The feelings were always there, just between the lines. Number 7. The arguments over the Dominion War. The Dominion War, now considered one of Trek's finest hours, almost never happened. Early on, producer Rick Berman wanted to wrap it up in just 3 to 4 episodes. He felt a drawn-out war storyline was too dark for Star Trek. But writers Ira Behr and Ron Moore pushed back hard, arguing wars are supposed to be dark. They fought for the Dominion War to be a major arc, and thank the prophets they did. What really irked Berman was that the war went against Gene Roddenberry's vision of an optimistic future. Gene wanted stories showing what we could achieve if we did things right. Now, we'll never know if Gene would have loved the Dominion War since he passed before Deep Space Nine. But his ex-wife, Majel Barrett, criticized it, claiming Gene would have hated it. Number 6. The original plans for the Borg. Now, most fans know the Borg debuted in Q Who, where Q tossed the Enterprise into Borg space to give humanity a taste of what horrors awaited. But few realize the collective were meant to appear way earlier in the neutral zone. In that episode, Starfleet and Romulans investigate colonies destroyed near the neutral zone. Now, we never learned who destroyed them until Q Who, when scans revealed the colonies were destroyed the exact same way as Borg victims. According to reference books, the Borg were originally planned for the neutral zone, kicking off a trilogy where they'd be introduced as the Federation's new main threat. The story would have culminated with the Romulans allying with the Federation to save the Alpha Quadrant. Number 5. The reason for the Next Generation's uniform redesign. While most fans prefer the Next Generation's two-piece jacket and pants combo over the tight jumpsuits, You'll be shocked to discover that comfort wasn't just aesthetic, it was literal. The old uniforms actually caused Patrick Stewart serious back pain. He told the BBC radio that the uniforms were so uncomfortable there were even talks of a possible lawsuit if they weren't changed. Other cast members complained that the snug material made them overheat under the studio lights. Life really was imitating art. Those jumpsuits seemed designed more for fashion than function. So when the new costume designer Robert Blackman came on board for Season 3, he redesigned the uniforms for both looks and comfort. And boy did he deliver! Not only did the divisible tops and adjustable waistbands make the new uniforms way more practical, they instantly made TNG Starfleet officers look more professional and authoritative. Number 4. The reason Nichelle Nichols decided to stay. Now we've got the real story behind why Nichelle Nichols decided to stay on the show against all odds. And man, it's a doozy. You see, Nichols put up with a lot of racist crap during Season 1 of Trek. Studio execs even hid her fan mail, so she wanted to quit. But then something amazing happened. At a fundraiser, she ran into none other than Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. himself. Nichols told Dr. King about wanting to leave the show, but he convinced her to stay. He told her Uhura was one of the few black characters on TV who wasn't a stereotype, who was treated as an equal. Nichols recalled this life-changing moment during a 2011 interview, and it rightfully went viral. That small conversation with Dr. King galvanized Nichols, fueling her determination to stay and create change from within. Number 3. The origin of the Constellation class. In TNG's The Battle, we meet Picard's old ship, the USS Stargazer, but the script originally described it as a Constitution class, the same as Kirk's Enterprise. By the time producers realized they wanted a different ship model, scenes were already filmed with Wesley, Geordi, and others calling it a Constitution class vessel. So they had the actors re-record their lines as Constellation class and place the new audio over the old footage. The name Constellation was chosen because it sounds similar to Constitution, making the overdub less noticeable. But if you listen closely, you can tell Geordi's definitely saying Constitution class starship. So some quick on-the-fly creativity saved the Constellation's reveal, threading the needle between continuity and a cool new ship class. Classic Trekkie ingenuity. Now the Constellation goes on to play a pivotal role in Picard's backstory and his history with the Ferengi, but its name, chosen for sounding nearly the same, serves as a reminder that sometimes details must bend slightly to serve the bigger vision. Gene Roddenberry famously said, "Logic is the beginning of wisdom, not the end." And sometimes wisdom comes from creatively working with the materials at hand, no matter their origin. Number 2. The argument over the upside-down Enterprise. The Enterprise design went through many changes before production settled on the classic shape that we all know and love. Lead designer Matt Jeffries considered a ring-shaped and sphere-saucer ship before nailing the classic look. But an even wackier debate erupted over the model's orientation. In an interview, Jeffries recalled showing Gene Roddenberry the small-scale prototype. Due to its weird shape, the model flopped upside down when hung from a string. To Jeffries' shock, Gene actually loved the upside-down look. Jeffries had a hell of a time convincing Gene the flipped Enterprise just looked wrong. And thank the prophets that Jeffries won that argument in the end. Can you imagine watching where no man has gone before with the Enterprise flying ass up into space? I mean, it would be a hilarious disaster. Number 1. The Enterprise model's bad side. Special effects teams on the original series used creative tricks to save money, like rarely filming the Enterprise's model's left side. That's because electrical wiring ran along the left side for ship lights. Keeping the wiring out of shots proved easier than hiding it. So the Enterprise was mainly filmed from its detailed right side for the show and promotional shots. When left side views were needed, footage was mirrored and decals reversed to read correctly. The Smithsonian acquired the model in 1974, and curator Margaret Whittekamp remarked on lack of detail on the left side during a 2017 interview after the model underwent restoration. So the next time you admire the Enterprise's sleek lines, remember how one side was deemed good enough. It's a reminder that sometimes pioneers make do with what they have, then pass that torch on to future generations who can perfect the vision. Star Trek began by boldly going where few had gone before, wiring and all. And now here we are, dreaming one day of Trek's ideals may become a reality.